Well, after years of research and debate, the results are in, and breakfast is still the reigning champion as the most important meal of the day. We'll find out why later on in the show with health reporter Stephanie Strong. And if you're planning your family's summer vacation, we'll fill you in on the best days to fly and why you should fly Daytona first. But if you're staying closer to home and planning some well-earned beach days, Volusia County has a smartphone application to help you find out about beach conditions. Those stories, special interest segments, and hurricane preparedness coming right up on Volusia Magazine. I'm your host, Amber Patterson, and I hope you stay tuned. Volusia County is taking steps to increase awareness about the Tourist and Convention Development Tax, which must be collected by every person who rents living accommodations for 6 months or less. Property owners with seasonal rentals are required to register with the county and collect and remit the 6% tax each month. This applies to hotels and also to homeowners who rent their homes or condos occasionally. Penalties are imposed for filing late, not filing, or not paying in full. The tax pays for some important things. Half of the funds collected are given to the county's 3 advertising authorities to promote tourism. The other half goes towards retiring the Ocean Center's debt from its $80 million expansion in 2009. Don Poor, the director of the county's Ocean Center, said the tourist tax benefits the local economy, and there are concerns among tourism leaders that some property owners are not collecting the tax.
Well, it's very important to the convention center and to the community because the Ocean Center itself kind of helps to diversify the market, and we have another attraction just like the Speedway does. It's another reason why to come here. The other thing that's important to remember is that in paying these particular taxes and marketing the area that brings people into here, those people also pay additional sales tax and they pay a gas tax and that type of thing, which helps to improve our area and is paid for from people outside the community.
Volusia County employees routinely investigate reports of tax violations and follow up with registered taxpayers who do not file each month. Failure to collect and remit the Tourist Convention and Development Tax is a first-degree misdemeanor under Florida statute. For more information, you can call 386-736-5938. According to Airlines for America, the industry trade organization for the leading U.S. airlines, more people will fly this summer than a year ago, and a record number of passengers will fly internationally. The robust air travel forecast for the summer bodes well for Daytona Beach International Airport, which has experienced a steady increase in passenger traffic for more than 2 years. Steve Cook, Business Development Manager at Daytona Beach International Airport, said the county-operated airport is a convenient option for travelers who want to escape the congestion at larger area airports.
Our focus is on convenience. We try to make the travel from the curbside to the aircraft and back to the curbside or the parking lot as convenient as it possibly can be. We have Wi-Fi in the terminal, it's free. We have a business center down there by gate 6. We've got great concessions here in the terminal, low parking rates here in Daytona Beach, short walking distances. We also have weather and flight tracking services in the terminal. If the TSA were to take something from you and you had to surrender it, we actually provide you a way to send it back to your home at no cost to you. So we try to do a bundle of things that make this airport more convenient for the air traveling public.
Frank Barnes, a frequent flyer who lives in Jacksonville, says he likes DBIA for its customer service and convenience.
I am flying out of Daytona Beach International Airport because it is the quickest and most convenient way to get anywhere from the top right-hand corner of Florida to anywhere in the world. I can usually get a flight from here to wherever I need to connect, a connecting flight, and I'm off and going, and it's quick and easy in, and parking is good because I can park right out actually in front of the airport, which is unheard of for any airport that I've ever been to in the whole world.
When you begin planning your summer trip, keep in mind the busiest travel days are expected to be Thursdays and Fridays between the middle of June and the first week of August. For more information on rates and schedules, you can visit flydaytonafirst.com. No matter where you live in Volusia County or across the country, finding the latest beach conditions or the closest location for a traffic-free beach area is right at your fingertips. The smartphone application for Volusia County beaches was launched last September and since then has assisted thousands of residents and visitors to get quick access to important beach information. The app is free and available for download for iPhone and Android devices through the iTunes Store and Google Play or on the county's website. It uses advanced geolocation targeting and provides information for the nearest beach access ramps, parking, lifeguard towers, restrooms, food concessions, and more. It also displays beach conditions and streaming video from live beach cameras and pulls data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration as well as Volusia County databases.
For example, if I was coming from out of town, I could download the app and then put in the city that I was going to be traveling to. Say I was coming to Daytona Beach. I could look up and see all the access points, the parks, concessions, walkovers, everything that's nearby the area that I'm going to go to. So, and this will help you plan. You decide if the hotel that you're going to stay at has the facilities, the Volusia County facilities near it that you're looking for. That would be really valuable if you were on a trip. Well, we originally decided to do an app because we were looking for ways to increase public safety. So we thought that one major thing that we experience with beachgoers is they come down and they all go to the same place. So we thought if we give them better information on what areas of the beach they have access to and where the areas that are not crowded or where there's not driving, then they might diffuse out into other areas that are, yes, less utilized.
Again, the app is available for free download through the iTunes Store and Google Play, respectively, or on the county's website. You can visit volusia.org/beach and click on the link on the beach homepage just under the photo.
I'm Volusia County Chair Jason Davis. The University of Central Florida is running a very successful business incubator at Daytona Beach International Airport in partnership with Volusia County. The UCF Business Incubation Program is a collaboration and economic development between UCF and the Florida High-Tech Corridor Council, which links startup companies with experienced professionals and provides access to educational programs that lead them to business success. The goal of the incubation program is to offer a supportive environment to inspire the entrepreneurial spirit, accelerate business growth, and create local employment opportunities. For more information, visit www.incubator.ucf.edu.
Spring has definitely sprung. The flowers are blossoming, birds are building nests, and critters are being born. This is also the time of year when baby critters are at risk for well-intended human intervention. Reporter Joanne Magley has more in this week's Volusia Here and Now.
This is the time of year when many babies are born or hatched. It's also the time when Joy Hill from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission gets a lot of calls about abandoned animals that folks believe may be in need of rescue.
Everybody loves babies, and baby animals are so cute, and when you see them I think it's just a natural instinct to want to pick them up, and then if you think that they're abandoned, my goodness, you want to pick them up and take care of them and help them grow. I think that's why people do that. I know they just have the best interest at heart for the little critter.
But Hill says the best thing to do is just leave the baby alone, that actually intervening causes much more harm.
And of course wildlife is wild, and so they have developed natural defenses to things to try to prevent their babies from being predated upon, something coming and eating them. Lots of times they'll leave their young and because they need to go off and forage themselves, get their own food, or like birds and things have to go and get the food for the babies. So that's just natural behavior for them, and they have a way to communicate with their young to stay there.
A common target of misplaced rescues is baby deer. temporarily left in a safe place while their mothers feed nearby.
For example, with deer, the little fawns, the doe, the mama will tell them, stay here and don't move and I'll be back. And fawns have lots of natural defense. For example, they don't have any scent. So that's one thing, a predator can't find them by smelling them. They also have spots, and those are a camouflage. Unfortunately, sometimes folks will come upon these little fawns just lying still as a statue, and they think they've been abandoned or orphaned. And it's very easy to walk right up to them and pick them up because they're not going to move.
In reality, their parents are usually nearby, but they won't approach humans. Besides deer, there are many other baby animals that are often mistaken for being abandoned this time of year.
Baby birds are really common this time of year, and they fall out of their nests sometimes, or sometimes they're just, taking those first few steps when they're trying to learn, and people will see them hopping around on the ground and feel like, oh no, they've fallen out and they can't get back and the parents are gone. In fact, most of the time the parents, this is part of the learning process, the growing process. The parents are nearby. So in most cases, if they have, all their feathers, even though they're not going to look like the parent, but they have all their feathers and they're hopping around and they seem to be able to flutter and fly a little bit, just leave them alone.
Hill says if the baby birds are not feathered, you can look around for the nest and then put the bird back in it.
It's an old wives' tale that, if you touch the little bird, the parents will reject it. That's absolutely not true.
Not only can human interaction have a negative effect on wild baby animals, it's also against the law to possess most wildlife without a permit. Hill says there are very limited situations when people should step in.
There will be times that someone will see a dead opossum on the road, and the babies are clinging to it. They're still on it. That would be the type of situation, if you can do it safely, where you can take those babies off and call the agency or call a wildlife rehabilitator who can raise up those little babies in such a way that they can be released someplace.
Hill says basically only act if you know for sure babies have been orphaned or abandoned, and even then, call wildlife professionals. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
For more information on Florida's wildlife and what you can do to help, you can go to myfwc.com/conservation. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. The Women, Infants, and Children program at the Volusia County's Health Department are making sure you know the benefits of eating a balanced breakfast to start your day. Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong has more on this segment of Community Health Matters.
As the sun rises, it means the start of a brand new day. Rise and shine also means it's breakfast time. The benefits of eating breakfast. Breakfast prepares you to listen, think, and remember. Breakfast helps you maintain a healthy body weight by not overeating later in the day. Breakfast keeps your energy level up. Breakfast stabilizes your mood, and breakfast meets basic nutrition needs. The Volusia County Health Department's Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC, is putting the spotlight on the importance of eating breakfast with a statewide campaign called Rise and Shine. It's breakfast time.
Our Fall 2010 campaign is Rise and Shine, It's Breakfast Time. It focuses on the importance of eating breakfast, 3 different foods from 3 different food groups.
Hi, I'm Tanya Marchena, WIC and Nutrition Services Community Outreach Supervisor. Taking the time to eat a healthy breakfast is easier than you think. Here are some 5-minute ideas for meals to make when you're in a hurry. What we have here is a whole grain cereal topped with your favorite fresh fruit, 4 ounces of juice, and of course, low-fat milk. You can make yourself a breakfast burrito using a corn tortilla with scrambled eggs, spinach, or beans. To add variety to your day, try some hot cereal and a fresh fruit along with a glass of low-fat milk. Take a slice of whole grain bread, add some cheese, a side of fresh fruit, 4 ounces of juice, and you have a nutritious breakfast. Another tip to try is to take some grits, add a little low-fat margarine, a side of fresh fruit, and a glass of low-fat milk. Here's to breakfast. Enjoy.
Thanks, Tanya. Although mornings may be hectic with work and school, as you see, preparing breakfast can be as easy as 1, 2, 3. These are some of the approved WIC foods that you can use to make a quick, easy, and nutritious breakfast in minutes. For more information about the WIC and Nutrition Program or about the importance of eating breakfast, please visit www.volusiahealth.com or call 1-866-WIC-FOOD. For Volusia Magazine and on behalf of the Volusia County Health Department, your guide to better health, I'm Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong.
For more information about Florida's WIC and Nutrition Program or about the importance of eating your breakfast, you can visit volusiahealth.com. And now let's join Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest Ryan Williams with Volusia County's Emergency Operations Center for part 2 of their discussion about hurricane preparedness.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hi, everyone. Florida's hurricane season begins June 1st and ends November 30th. Early preparedness is the key to survival should a major storm come our way. Volusia County Emergency Management is kicking up its storm readiness, and so should you. With preparedness in mind, we have with us again this week in the studio Ryan Williams. He's the Operations Coordinator for Volusia County Emergency Management. Ryan, thanks for being back with us today.
Great to be here, Dave.
You know, we were talking last week about the fact that personal preparedness is absolutely the key for businesses and residents. And we talked about it last week, but we need to repeat it again for this program. People really need to have a plan now, not when the storm is threatening.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, having a plan is really multifaceted as far as what does that mean. I mean, you know the standards of food, water, medications, and this sort of thing. Some people forget about maybe they need to have a little bit of cash on hand.
Right.
That's sort of an all hazards planning situation too. A lot of these things are, I mean, if you're out of power for whatever reason, you're going to need some of these commodities,
right.
and that's really what we talk about in emergency management is all hazards planning. And there's lots of locations on the web that you can go to try to help you along as far as putting that plan together. Mm-hmm. You can go to, for one thing, you can go to our website, volusia.org/emergency, and you can look in there and you can just kind of sniff around a little bit, and with all the smartphones and everything everybody has, and of course we've got the libraries and this sort of thing. If you need to plug into the internet, you can surf through that website, and there's just a wealth of information about not only how you would actually go about getting your plan, but whether or not you're in a surge zone,
right?
About our shelters,
right?
About evacuations and about
mm-hmm.
hurricanes,
right?
And some of these specific hazards that we face here in Volusia County. So that's part of getting the plan, is leaning forward and kind of learning.
Right. And Ryan, you know, lots of people have special circumstances within their household. They may have elderly parents, mm-hmm. you know, they may have a lot of kids. I mean, who knows what their circumstances are. They may be right. medication dependent, they may be yep. oxygen dependent, they may have a lot of pets. And so really, when you're putting that personal preparedness plan together, you need to consider those special circumstances. What are you going to do if you have 4 or 5 dogs and cats? Or what are you going to do if you have large animals? Or you know, your elderly mother may live with you. Mm-hmm. And so those things really probably take a little extra planning and probably a little bit more time to think through.
They really do. I think one of the things that you should do if you are elderly, oxygen dependent, or sensory impaired, or if you know someone who is in that situation and they are in a surge zone or in a structure that may not withstand
right.
a tropical system, you need to find out if you're eligible for the special needs program, which they also allow pets in those special needs shelters, which we have 6 of in the county that we could open.
Right.
And we're going to scale our evacuation. Will help us figure out how many shelters we're actually going to open. So we're going to scale that. So,
sure.
But we have capacity at all 6 of those locations to house those folks that qualify under that program. And you can find out about that program on our website as well, where you can call the emergency management office, and we can send you the application packet for that. As far as people that are in evacuation zone or in a structure that's unsound outside of that surge zone, I mean, we have general population shelters.
Right.
And so they can go to the general population shelters, and we have just a slew of those as well, I think on the order of 27 that we could open. And we will open those depending on the, the scale of the evacuation.
Right. You have an evacuation. What do I do if I don't have any transportation? I mean, there are a lot of folks in Volusia County that don't have cars, they don't have transportation. What do they do?
That's true. Well, I would hope, again, that they had gone through this whole planning process, but in the event that they hadn't, especially with the special needs population that we have across the state and the nation for that matter, they can call Votran.
Right. And Votran, and I think public school system buses as well, oftentimes are called into the picture to provide emergency transportation to and from the shelters if the situation warrants. Am I right on that?
You're right. Absolutely.
Ryan, as we continue to talk about emergency preparedness, one of the discussion points that oftentimes gets left out is the business side of things. I know in recent years the county has forged a relationship with the Center for Business Excellence and the Daytona Beach Chamber in Volusia County, and they act as, I think, advocates and liaisons and go-betweens for the business community. Tell us about that part of the preparedness plan.
Well, this is I think deeply seated in current FEMA Director Craig Fugate's administration, so to speak. And now he did come from the state of Florida.
Sure did, yeah.
He was the director here, and I actually worked in the state EOC under under mutual aid for a little bit under his direction. But yeah, his one of his initial pushes or initiatives, so to speak, was the whole community approach. And when I started hearing that word here in Volusia County at the time, it really resonated. And I think it resonated across the state and maybe even across the nation. And so the program was already kind of in its early stages of development. I would never claim credit for something of magnitude like that. But in our office, I guess, our office is a team. So the team in our office really latched onto that. And so the whole Business Operations Center was hatched.
Right. And
we also have an ESF, or emergency support function, that is dedicated to business and industry, which is in a broader sense that predates this whole community approach. And underneath the whole community approach, you do have business as a component. But that's kind of another scale out. That includes, the public is basically part of that, and then, the NGOs and everything. It's just the whole community is supposed to be involved. But back to the business operations side of it, the community relies on businesses.
Sure.
And that drives our economics, and that allows us to go to the store and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but get a big gulp or food, water, and ice, this kind of thing, and to put to bring home the bacon, it's got to be on sale.
Right.
And so that if you can push the button on this and get your community back up and running as far as economics, and commerce, you're going to stand this community back up and recover faster.
Volusia County has a brand new Emergency Operations Sheriff's Communication Center, state-of-the-art facility. Ryan just opened, really never been tested. Hope you don't have to test it, to be honest with you. But what happens in that facility? I mean, what is the purpose of that facility?
Well, that's a really good question, and it goes back to some very basic elements of emergency management, kind of the fundamentals: preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation.
Right.
And so many people look at emergency management and they see the response piece. They see us during disasters.
Right.
They see us in this response phase. They see us when the hurricanes are here. They don't realize maybe to some extent that we're actually looking at 3 other phases. So 3 out of 4 phases in emergency management are not response.
Right.
And honestly, in some cases, we're still recovering from previous disasters. So recovery is ongoing. And then you have your preparedness piece, which means we're doing outreach, we're planning, we're training, we're exercising. That facility is a hub for planning, training, and exercising.
But when there's a disaster, I think it's probably fair to say that the players that make decisions during a disaster come into the central location so that information can be shared and decisions can be made jointly. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's
Yes,
a
sir.
coordinated response to this, and that's where these people go and work. I mean, that's what the EOC really is. I think.
That's what the EOC does during a response. We're not unlike everyone else that we pull in to help manage the event. We're working, and the disaster, we're always monitoring, by the way. We're always at a level 3. We're always monitoring. We have our feelers out to see what's happening. And then when the disaster gets to a point, or really the threat gets to a point that we need to ramp up, so to speak, that goes through the proper channels, and then we stand that EOC up and we pull everybody in. And in bringing everybody into the same location, we have situational awareness that is unprecedented. We have the technology in there to make that happen as well. We have some support agencies, the whole community approach that I mentioned in the last program, bringing everybody in to bear. We have scalability. If we really do get this massive event, we can scale to it, and we do scale. We ramp up, and as we get into recovery, we have new agencies, new folks, and we kind of ramp back down. And the location being on the same campus with our communication center or dispatch center, it couldn't be much better of a setup.
Well, Ryan, I want to thank you for being with us again on Volusia Magazine. Hurricane season, June 1st, is underway, and this is the time for all residents and businesses to be prepared. So thanks for sharing the information with us.
Thanks for having me.
Our guest today is Ryan Williams. He's the Operations Manager for Volusia County Emergency Management. And again, we urge everyone to have that personal preparedness plan. And if you need more information, go to volusia.org and click on Emergency Management. And with that, we'll go back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you too for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. Just click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council meeting calendar there too. You could use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. In fact, here's a fun activity. What would be better than a cool slice of watermelon on a hot summer day? Find out at Volusia County's Watermelon Day. It'll be held Wednesday, June 12th at the Volusia County Farmers Market, 3050 East New York Avenue in DeLand. For more information, you can call Commercial Horticulture Extension Agent Karen Stotterman at 386-822-5778. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.